When I was watching TV with my son under the same blanket, my hand touched a place where it shouldn't have touched. After that, this story had a new beginning. There was no one else in my life except my son, and after this day, he became my only world. He was not only my son, he became my everything, because my husband had met with a truck accident many years ago, due to which he is no more in this world. So now I was living in this world with the support of my son. I also wanted to come into a different kind of relationship with my son, where there is infinite love, only love, and no limit to anyone. No matter what we do, there is no one to stop us. I also like this thing very much because for many years I was craving for these things because I did not want to cheat my husband. Look, if I tell you the truth, I am 40 years old now, and right now I am a single mother. I have a son whose age is 19 years. I had a love marriage with a person named Henry. 20 years ago, our married life was going very well. There was a lot of love between me and my husband because of this. When we were living in a live-in relationship, I got pregnant after that. We both got married, but my married life could not last long, and exactly 15 years after marriage, my husband died in a truck accident. After that, I had given up on my life very badly. I used to miss my husband a lot. I used to think day and night that what will I do by living in this world now? But whenever I used to think like this, immediately after that, I used to remember my loving son, and I used to control myself by thinking that who will take care of my son after me? His life has not even started yet. I did not take any wrong step considering my son as the only reason to live, and even today, I live happily with my son. Now I do not feel the lack of my husband Henry, because now I have started feeling that somewhere my husband is present in this world in the form of my son. My son is the only reason for me to live. I love him very much. All the habits in him are like his father. He loves me a lot. He is very active about me. He takes care of me, like his girlfriend. He always cares about me so that I don't make friends with anyone else. He doesn't even let me meet my female friends. He keeps a sharp eye on me every day. But I don't feel bad about this because I believe that the relationship in which there is concern for each other lasts for a long time. That's why I don't feel bad about this restriction of my son. So let me now take you to that phase of my life from where my relationship with my son became completely strong. A few years ago, my son's health deteriorated a lot. When I took him to the hospital, the doctor told me that he has malaria, and due to malaria, there is a lot of blood loss in his body. The doctor told me that DNA has spread completely in his body. You should have brought him to the hospital much earlier. The doctor treated him a lot. He remained in the hospital for 15 days. When he was in the well for 8 days, I was continuously praying to God. I was praying to God to cure my son. Otherwise, what would I do by living in this world? I don't want to lose my son after a few days. By the grace of God, my son was cured, and I brought him home. He had become very weak, so much so that he could not stand up and go to the toilet himself. I had to take him to the toilet too. I had spent a lot of time taking care of him. Whenever I saw him, he used to be very quiet and lost. I understood that he needs a different kind of love. Then I asked him what happened. "My son, you are very quiet. Do you need anything?" He refused me, saying no. "Mother, I don't need anything." Then I asked him, "Do you have a girlfriend?" He didn't say anything. Then I explained to him and said, "You don't need to be afraid. I won't scold you. I just want to know that if you have a girlfriend, then talk to her so that your mind becomes good and your mind becomes light." Then he told me that I am telling the truth in my mind. I don't have any girlfriend hearing this. He said, "I don't know why I felt happy from inside." Then I ended this conversation here and gave him food to eat. He started resting after eating, and I turned on the TV for him. I went to the kitchen to do some household work. I was thinking of getting free after at least 1 hour and going to my son's room, and it was 11 p.m. The door of my son's room was slightly open. Well, it is very wrong to peep into someone's room, but I tried to peep inside through the door to see if my son was still awake or asleep. Then I saw that his bed was shaking very fast. I immediately opened the door and he immediately started pretending to be asleep. I went to him and called his name to wake him up. He tried to show me that he was asleep and was in a very deep sleep then. I called him very loudly. Then he said, "Yes, Mother, tell me what happened." I said, "Nothing. If you need anything, tell me right now, because I am going to sleep." When I saw his condition, he knew everything that he was doing. His body was completely drenched in sweat. It seemed as if he had just come out of the gym. It was not normal for him to sweat so much in a normal blanket, because it was winter days. People were sleeping in the room with heaters on, and how is it possible that he is feeling hot even in a normal blanket due to which he is sweating? I had already understood everything, but I did not say anything to him. I was feeling very cold myself, so I immediately brought him a very thick blanket and snatched that old blanket from him, saying that this one is very thin. You should cover yourself with this thick blanket. He was repeatedly telling the thin blanket to be Kamal. "Mommy, I want this blanket only." I snatched Kamal from his hand and put the thick blanket on him, and scolding him said that you will catch cold and you will again fall ill, so you should use this thick blanket. I took that black blanket from him and started going towards the washing machine. Then my hand got dirty with something, and when I looked at Kamal carefully, there was something like ice cream on it. There were a lot of stains on Kamal. It seemed that today my son has spilled a lot of ice cream on the blanket. But I was thinking that there is no ice cream in the fridge. Then how can there be ice cream on the blanket? I was very surprised by this then. When I opened the washing machine to put the clothes in it, I saw that there are already a lot of my clothes in the washing machine for the groom. When I saw this, I was shocked because I had washed all my clothes in the washing machine. I had washed the clothes yesterday and had cleaned the washing machine properly and kept it there. Then how did most of my clothes like bra and nightdress come in today? When I picked them up and showed them to myself, I found that there was fresh ice cream on them too. My hands had again become dirty with this substance. I also like ice cream very much. I was thinking in my mind that my son must have hidden the ice cream somewhere. When I put some of the ice cream substance from my nightdress on my tongue, I understood what it was. I immediately went to the bathroom and cleaned my hands there and drank water. I put all the clothes in the washing machine and started it and washed all the clothes immediately. It was still going on in my mind that it was not ice cream. Now different types of thoughts had started coming in my mind because the thing which I had just tasted reminded me of my past days. Then I started remembering my husband, and I sat near the washing machine and started crying and started remembering those loving moments which I had spent with my husband. They were an important part of my life. Then I immediately went and slept in my bed at night. My son heard my crying and light sobbing. He understood that his mother was crying. He immediately asked me, "Mom, what happened? Why are you crying?" He was asking the same thing again and again, and I was continuously crying. Then he hugged me and started wiping my tears somewhere. He also understood that my mother is missing my father, and that is why she is crying. Then I calmed down after a while, and my son said to me, "Mom, let's go out and sit on the sofa and watch TV." Then he took me to the sofa by holding my hand there. He said to me, "Mom, don't cry. I feel very bad. I also feel like crying. I swear to you that if after today even a single tear comes out of your eyes." As soon as he swore to me, I put my finger on his mouth and said, "Son, don't swear to me. I don't want to lose you." And we both started looking at each other. Then he covered me with the blanket and made me sit with him on the sofa and turned on the TV. We both started watching the program. It was 1 o'clock in the night. Then my hand touched a place where it shouldn't have touched. After that, I felt that everything was changing as the weather was changing. The weather inside the house was also changing. My son removed his gaze from the TV and started looking at me. I was also looking at him. I had not removed my hand from the place I saw the atmosphere changing. I told my son, "Son, you don't need to panic. All this is very normal. All these things can happen in your body." Then he understood my gesture. After that, my son made me very happy. This sequence of watching TV and making me happy started happening every day because there was no one to stop us. This thing was changing day by day. My son had now started caring for me a lot. There is going to be a lot of change in this story going forward. So here is my complete story. It is not going to end here. I want you to stay with me for that. You must subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon. And yes, if you especially want more parts of this, then definitely write next in the comment.